I am a bit curious about proceedings in Zionism throughout the world, in particular America, the United Kingdom, the United States of America, the United Kingdom, and Palestine as colonized into Israel. As far as I understand, according to publications on Facebook and publications on YouTube and other publications on the internet, for the former Great Britain spearheaded by England, created a document called the Balfour Declaration, in which England establishes a country to benefit global Judaism and the security of Jewish people. It sounds like a very noble thing. However, that's just not English business. But they did it anyway. That business solely belongs to Jewish people. It's their choice what they want to do with their lives, and not to be part of a theatrical production following a libretto of political overtures. Now, since the onset of the Balfour Declaration, I believe it was in 1900, 1905, 1900, Great Britain, now the United Kingdom, has forced its political stance of Zionism, as described in the Balfour Declaration, onto other neighboring English-speaking countries that are, strangely, not cut from the apron strings of Great Britain, now the United Kingdom, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, the United States of America, what else? And other territories, India, Hong Kong. These English-speaking countries, under the auspices of the United Kingdom, are promoting for the United Kingdom a reunification of Palestine as fashioned by the children of Jewish people whose ancestors may at one time lived in Palestine, Israel, as it's called, much of it today, according to some. The problem with this English domination for the advancement of Jewish causes enforces slavery. It enforces an imperialistic slavery throughout the world by making everything and everyone subject to what England has created, a cosmopolitan society of Jewish people. in the effort to recreate Judah, Canaan, Israel. The manner in which the United Kingdom has gone to bring forth their thirst for Jewish people, which seems a wholesome thing, has been very inhospitable. The United Kingdom has used their commonwealths, their satellites, their colonies, English-speaking satellites, colonies, commonwealths, to send soldiers from each of those countries to act on behalf of the United Kingdom for Israel. Moreover, the United Kingdom and its English-speaking satellites are openly laundering money through various foundations, countries, organizations such as the Clinton Foundation, such as Saudi Arabia, in order to purchase weapons and human resources, such as disgruntled, formerly religious people, to cause political, social, financial, and geopolitical unrest across the globe, in particular in Muslim countries which surround Palestine, now Israel, as colonized by the efforts of the United Kingdom and its English-speaking allies, or English-speaking countries, and those satellites of the UK, such as India, Saudi Arabia, and other countries which are inclined to the ear of the Israeli plight or the Jewish plight. And it seems a fair enough or just enough cause. So many people have thrown out Jewish people from their chosen area, Palestine, just because the Jewish people may or may not have behaved badly. As a reminder to listeners, Jesus, who was on the cross and was crucified by the Romans at the behest of the Jewish people who demanded Jesus' crucifixion. Crucify him, crucify him, crucify, 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 crucify him, as is written in the New Testament. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." So if Jesus can make this outlandish statement of mercy towards those who harmed him, in particular the Jews who demanded his death because he said he was God, how much more should anyone forgive not just the Jewish people who demanded Jesus' crucifixion, but also the Romans who actually crucified him. Yet we all are called to forgive. So it only seems logical that, or hospitable, or an act of restitution to the Jewish people that the Jewish children are allowed to come back to Palestine to live. Keep in mind that, who was it, Moses or Abraham? I think it was Moses. Or was it Abraham? I don't know. One of the two. I think it was Moses. Saw the promised land, which was allegedly Palestine, and was not allowed in because of his sinfulness. God promised Abraham that his descendants would live there. Big deal. Was that the true end of God's plan of salvation? No, it wasn't. Some seem to think that a political machination, a political strategy is in effect to make a particular plot of tangible land that is not going to be here forever due to tectonic plates, due to the expansion and contraction of the earth, as a promised land. God did not promise that. In the Old Testament, in the Torah, God promised to send a Redeemer in order to make peace between humanity and God once again. That's what that was about. Not about a land grab. But apparently the United Kingdom has gone out of their way to convince Jewish people that the English, are at the helm of commanding armies throughout the world to gather what was once Judah, the Canaanite lands surrounding Israel, which encompass Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. From Turkey, Syria, wow. All for a Zionist cause. And that cause is to establish a world government from Palestine, colonized now as Israel, and to effectively make Jerusalem a global capital over all other capitals. I'm not sure why people are not understanding that this is a sign of racism. It's a clarion chord of racism. However, the English seem to be playing on the heartstrings of the Jewish people. The English people seem to appear wanting a stake in the reunification of Judah, reunification of the Jewish lands, according to England's translation of, or England's understanding of what has transpired in the Bible. Because England wants to, or hopes to apparently, rise to some type of empirical or emperor-like throne at the cost of the Jewish faith. Do Jewish people see this at all? Why do I see it? Do you, the viewer, see it? It seems as if the English are using the Jews to establish a Jewish supremacy in the Middle East so that an English son or daughter of England could assume that particular throne or assume that particular place of leadership among the Jewish people. The Jewish people might consider that person Messiah. It also appears that England is quite sore at the Roman Catholic Church because the Roman Catholic Church excommunicated the heads of state in England for inappropriate behavior, for sinful behavior. Consequently, those heads forced those underneath them to abandon the Catholic faith, the Roman Catholic faith, for a state-run faith called Anglicanism, which splintered off into various factions, secretive societies dressed up as Christian societies, but far from it, like the Puritans, Calvinists, people who owned slaves in the Americas, and who turned around and killed the Indians. Or not the Indians, but the natives who lived in what is known today as America, with smallpox blankets and other biological weapons, besides the use of their slaves to aid the Western European English to usurp the properties of the indigenous here in what is today called the Americas, North America, according to a German cartographer. So with England at the head of this reunification of Jewish culture and supremacy, it seems as if that is England's substantial payback to the Roman Catholic Church, saying, no, the Pope, you're nobody. You don't have a word to say according to the authority of the world. Pope never said he did. And ultimately, it seems as if the English are playing the Jewish people to the extent that if England does not get its way, that England would call all of its satellites to destroy the Jewish people. It's like a big Holocaust all over again. Keep in mind that what was World War II was allegedly run by German people. The historical videos and archives are completely demonstrating that German people were not at the head of these Third Reich helms, but that an elite Jewish cabal was. Moreover, they had the cooperation of the English country and its allies in Great Britain, Scotland, United Kingdom, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So it seems as if the English do not get their way, they're going to kill all the Jews. Just like their alleged German ancestors did in Germany during World War II. Not quite certain why the good Jewish people would trust the British, considering that the British are of Germanic extraction, of Germanic ethnicity. So I think the Jewish people are not playing, but I think they're being victimized. They're being victimized in a dangerous game played by the English. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like on Facebook. That's what it looks like on YouTube. That's what it looks like on the internet. There are plenty of places that that demonstrate that England is, in a way, threatening, or not threatening, but using Jewish people and their historical footprint in order to gain access to the Jewish experience in order to trump England's would-be or potential enemies like Roman Catholicism or like Christendom in general, since Anglicanism is a faux expression of a larger Christianity. I'm not saying that they're not Christian. I'm just saying that they are not Christian. Christianity is supposed to be a united religion, but right now Christendom is broken up into several factions, like the evangelical Christians, at the head of which is Lutheranism, the Roman Catholics, and the Eastern Orthodox. Those three churches are the biggest players in Christendom. And it seems as if the enemies of Roman Catholicism, which are perceivably Eastern Orthodox and evangelical Christians, at the helm of which is Lutheranism, seem to think that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, as the saying goes. So what eventually gives? Are the English trying to truly damage Jewish credibility? It completely appears so. The English are using, in the open, as plain as day, puppets, elected puppets, politicians, to side with the Zionist objectives of Great Britain, as if Great Britain or the United Kingdom still owned lands, as if they ever owned them. In Canada, the United States of America, Australia, New Zealand, and the like. to effect change in Palestine for Israel. You know, God bless the Jewish people, but God bless the people that the Jewish people are killing, namely the Palestinians and other Muslims, in order to gain their land, to recreate their greater promised land. Now, in the book of Revelation, or in the book of the Apocalypse, Revelation is the English translation for the Greek word apocalypse. Revelation states that there are going to be so many people who are saved by the blood of Jesus that the number is uncountable. We're talking, good Lord, a number that's uncountable. However, the chosen people will only in total up to 144,000. So why, with that knowledge, would England go out of its way to create a home for the Jews when the Jewish home belongs with the Gentiles? If not England wanting to ascend to some type of height or apex of power structure. Yeah, I'm fearful for the Jews. I think the Jewish people are being used by England clearly, only for political ends. And I am absolutely horrified and in deep sorrow over the loss of Palestinian life as their lands are being encroached upon and colonized in the faces of billions by the Jews at the explicit empirical direction of the United Kingdom. The Jews can be forgiven for these things. We all can, I'm sure. That's what Jesus says to do, right? That's what Muhammad, peace be unto him, would have said, to forgive. Yet England still poses an horrific threat to those Middle Eastern areas. Right now, there are right now there are literally thousands of troops in the Middle East. For what purpose? Seriously. I think a country should have its army defend its borders, defend itself from domestic terror, but should not act as an agent of terror in other countries, which we're doing now, for the Zionist purposes of Great Britain, or the Zionist purposes and intentions of England specifically within the United Kingdom. I imagine that there are so many Scottish and Welsh and Northern Irish people that wouldn't even touch what England is doing, and in fact condemn it. What's going on with that? Can there be a resolution? I think that peaceable resolutions can come about among the Jewish people and the Palestinians and everyone within the Middle Eastern areas, which are quite civilized, as they have demonstrated. However, one area that needs immediate attention by a quick humiliation or by a quick action of humility is England.